You are tuned in to the Footwork Out channel's first episode of Give Us the Works. I am DJ Cornerstone, and I'll be interviewing one of the finalists of Chicago Footworkology's Work the Beat Battle. The DJ, producer, and musician, our brother in the footwork, DJ Ben Court. Come on, brother Ben, and give us the works.
What's up?
Ben, man, what's going on?
Not a lot. How you doing? DJ Cornerstone.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise. Thank you for reaching out to me. It's super dope to meet you as well. I'm always interested in meeting new musicians and dancers and artists in general, so I appreciate it.
Man, no problem, man. I'm just thankful that you're on, man. I thank you for taking the time out, man. Because I'll tell you, so this will be the very first interview. I have a YouTube show called Footwork Out, which is breaks footwork down to its core. Like that goes on beyond basic moves. So now I'm getting into interviewing producers like yourself, DJs and dancers. And you're the first one, man. So
right on.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear.
I heard
have you been reaching out to other people? Who else is like kind of lined up?
Yes, I reached out to all the top 16. Well, I can't say all of them because there's about 2 that I couldn't find their IGs on. So I'll get to them though, man. I got all faith that I get a hold of them. But yeah, man, all you guys, I enjoyed that conference, man. Chicago Footworkology, man. That was a blessing to me.
Me too.
And then all you guys' tracks. Yeah, like
I appreciate
all of them.
I really appreciate that. Yeah,
man, no problem, man. Like, I mean, I think that conference could have went a little bit longer, man, just to hear more of your tracks, man. That Professor Bounce was banging.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, people were saying, let's do this every week. And I'm like, somebody can put together the work to organize that. It just shows that there's a lot of people who are interested and thirsty for that. So that's really awesome. So, yeah.
Hey, so Ben, like for all the people, because I'm going to put this on all my social media and I'm going to share it with you so you can share it with others. But for everyone that's going to be watching, man, I want to know more about you. So, like, where are you from?
I grew up originally in upstate New York.
Okay.
Outside of Rochester. I was born in Rochester and I was raised like outside the city in some towns on the west side. Okay. And then I was living in LA for about 10 years. So I moved to Los Angeles when I was like 23 and spent a lot of time there, which is actually where I encountered Chicago footwork. So in a sort of roundabout way. Yeah.
That's cool. About what year would you say that was?
So my first encounter with Chicago footwork was like first just as a listener. I heard DJ Rashad around the time Double Cup came out. So, you know, depending on who is watching or paying attention, like I could be pretty late to it compared to a lot of other people. And I liked the music and I had seen the dance a little bit, but I didn't really totally understand the connections or really feel like I got it until I started seeing some of the dancers around the city of Los Angeles. So I started going to see first just some Tech Life DJs when they would come through Los Angeles, came to know some of the local Juke Bounce Werk DJs and Los Angeles DJs. And then I saw King Charles and King Chemo. It was just the 2 of them at that point dancing at a club with some of the Juke Bounce Werk DJs. And that was like and that was in, that must have been in 2016 that I saw that.
Okay.
And so that was like really my kind of like mind-blowing moment. And so Yeah, and so I was actually in school at the time, though. I was in graduate school and working really hard and really focused on that. But I was really eager to learn the dance. And so I was like, as soon as I graduate, I'm gonna start working on learning this. And I'd never really learned a style or danced at all before, but I was just
Yeah.
so excited and thrilled and interested that like yeah, I graduated the next year in 2017, and that's when I started training
Okay.
for dance. Yeah.
Training with King Charles or training with King Charles?
Yeah, well, at first with some of King Charles's students in
Okay.
creation. So if people are watching this, I just got to shout out Creation LA because
All right.
everybody in Creation LA taught me. At first, it was really Tal Sugarman and Tal, but then I was studying with, yeah, learning a lot from King Chemo and King Charles and whoever they were bringing out, people like Paws Eddie and
Yeah.
yeah, I've been super lucky to meet some amazing, amazing footwork dancers and just learn from them for sure.
Yeah, they're all cold, man. And
Yeah.
you know, I haven't had the privilege to meet all of them, but I did get to meet Paul Zetti one day. Yeah,
Oh,
that
okay.
hard worker, man. I was actually trying to brush up on my footwork because I'm born and raised primarily in Joliet, Illinois, which is about an hour from the south side of Chicago. And
Okay.
to Alabama for a while on a couple of occasions, man. So I called myself, I got out of the loop of things, and then I was trying to get back right with it, So I found out that Little Bit was taking the class, and one of the classes, I only went to like 3 of them because I was like, man, I'm tired. Like I work full time. I got a family.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, this isn't a good time for me to be doing this. So, but yeah, one
Yeah.
of the sessions, man, Paul Eddie was there, and I was like, man, this dude is working. Like they make it look like it's effortlessly, and like it just comes natural. But man,
Yeah.
this dude like works. He's sweating, and he's like, he was kind of on himself too. Like if he didn't get a
Yeah.
move like he wanted, he'd be like, dang. And like he'd be like, man. And I'm thinking, like, that was cold. Like, how are you frustrated? But yeah,
Yeah.
man, that's cool.
He's one of my favorite dancers for sure. Like definitely in my top 5. Like every round I see by him is just like so explosive every single time. So yeah, and he just packs so much power and like I just think like his dribbles are like top tier all time dribbles of Paz Eddie's, man. Like
Yeah.
he's just got moves, man. So that's cool. So you've been because I saw some of your footwork on your IG and I was like,
Oh,
oh yeah,
straight up?
cool. This guy's cold. Yeah. So you've been doing it for a long time, or you grew up doing it, or
Well, so I can't say grow up. I can't say grow up doing it because I didn't really get introduced to the footwork until about 1992. So
okay.
I was a house head when I was little. Like I'm an 80s kid, man. I love Beat Street breaking and all that. And I had these older cousins that would go to the parties in Chicago, and I would listen to WBMX radio. So I was in the house, but around 91, we moved to, now 91, we moved to Alabama. And around 92, it came up for the summer. And that's around the time the Percolator came out.
Mm-hmm.
I was just visiting my family, and my aunt, a couple of friends of the family went to R. Kelly through a picnic, and I think it was Washington Park. And there was this group there, man. Back in the day, one of the main groups was footwork groups called House of Maddox. So they performed at R. Kelly's picnic. It was like an appreciation picnic or whatever, giving back to the fans and stuff. But man, it was in there clean. They had the finger waves popping. That's when finger waves was hot. The swish out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, I saw them like footwork. I'm like, what is this? I was like, man, because Joliet is like it's close, but it's far at the same time. For a kid, it's far for Chicago.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know a little bit. But man, so that's what kind of pulled me. I already loved dance, but I always wanted to be up on it, the latest thing. But seeing House of Maddox, man, I was like, dude, I'm gonna do this. So I mean, it was just that hypeness of it, man. I love the music. Back then it was Ghetto House, which kind of merged into juke and then footwork. But I'm like, man, it pumps me up. I love to watch it. I love to see people footwork. I love the footwork. I love the music and stuff. And then like the conference, and I don't want to get all into my thing, but one of the things I was grateful for that conference about, man, was that it put me in an element, in a place to meet people like yourself, you know, just to be around people with similar interests, you know, because the footwork scene kind of faded in Joliet. You know, I eventually moved back up, moved down again, moved back up, and it kind of died down like after I left high school, and I couldn't really, it's hard to be around people that like that. So I was like, man, you got a conference of folks that's into this thing, man. I consider you my brother in footwork, man. Like, oh, y'all my brothers and sisters in footwork. I was just glad to be a part. You know, I submitted an entry. I didn't make it, but I was happy just to be part of it. Yeah. But and that stuff is live.
Well, I definitely still consider myself like a student for sure. And I still feel like I'm learning a lot about the music. And that conference, for me too, that was like really, really amazing, really enlightening. I just felt like leveled up huge from all three of the presentations. And and I made top 16, and that was like, to me, that felt like my peak accomplishment so far as a footwork musician. I definitely still feel like I have a lot to learn and like a lot that I want to grow with for sure though. So I'm just like, I think one of the things I learned too from just observing and listening and learning as much as I can from footwork musicians and producers is like they just make a lot and they just do it a lot. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, is I just want to be doing it as much as I can and like growing as fast as I can. You know what I mean? So that's where I feel like I'm at with musically. But that conference really was inspiring, and to see how many people all around the world are like super into learning and taking the time to do it right. Which is really awesome.
That was so cool. Yes. Like you said, I mean, I can remember, man, when I moved down south, I was like, dude, I wish there was somebody that was into it. And I went to school at Alabama A&M University. And there were actually a few people there from Chicago and Detroit, which they kind of got their own thing in Detroit called JIT. But it was only a handful that liked footwork. There was one brother named Corey, real cool dude. He used to be in a group called K59, which was back then when House of Maddox was like the thing. And like we would get together for the parties and stuff. He wasn't really trying to like pursue it though, you know. And I tried to, you know, get some people together and teach, but it was kind of hard to teach when I didn't know all of it myself. Trying to pick it up when I see it, you know. So, but now, I mean, with the internet and social media, it's just dope, man, to make this thing possible. And I said all that to say this. How you said you saw it in LA, and then we see people in Italy and hear people from Italy, and I think somebody was from Oregon, Japan, and all that, from all over, man. It's just dope to me because this thing is like worldwide. When I don't know how it was for you going to parties, I used to be like, man, can they please play a footwork track? I could be somewhere in the country. I've been in various places, and they, you know, they play good stuff. Like, man, like if they would only play a track, I could do something right now, you know?
Right.
But it's getting to that point, you know, which is cool.
But it's interesting. And it's interesting too, because I know like footwork in Chicago has meant so many different things to so many different people for decades now, right? That like, sometimes if you talk to some of the DJs, they'll say like, when we travel, people kind of know how footwork's so new and current to them. And sometimes in the city of Chicago, there will be people saying things like, oh, you're still doing that? People still do that footwork?
Man.
Like, oh, I didn't know people are interested in that. They're like, no, you need to understand, like, people are just catching on to it outside of Chicago. And so, I think I think it's awesome that people in Chicago who've been really innovative, interesting artists, all these people from House of Maddox and K59, like you're talking about, who were innovators, really, like they invented a whole style. And like, it's just amazing to see that spreading around the world now. And I'm just hoping, you know, like, because there's so many resources out there, and also because, like, as somebody who's an outsider and like a real guest, like, to see how welcoming people are, that Clint and Boo and Traxman will take the time to teach these classes, that King Charles is going around in the era, and all these other, this current generation of footworkers, and Boudilla and J-Ron, like, that they're doing all these different classes, that they're doing all these interviews. So it's like, for someone like me, like, there's a lot to learn, but there's also like a lot of really generous teachers out there who are like willing to share. And so if you're interested enough, like, the resources are all around you. And it's the weird, like, kind of silver lining too to the quarantine, is that everybody was forced to figure out how to connect online. And, you know, could we have even had that CFology conference? Would we have even thought to do that? If it weren't for, you know, having to connect online like this.
You're absolutely right, man. Yeah, you got to find a blessing in everything, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that was definitely it, you know. So I want to get more, man, learn about you, man, DJ Ben. So what would you say is your like your sound? Like, describe like where you're trying to go with your own sound.
Yeah. Well, I'm very new to making footwork tracks. I've been doing it for like 2 years.
Okay.
But I've been a musician for a lot longer than that. I've been a musician basically my whole life, and I've been working in a lot of different styles. But like, when I was younger, I was like a real punk rocker. So that's like, I think part of me is always kind of like has a punk aesthetic to me.
Okay.
And a certain kind of stripped down feel to it. So I think like one of the things that just attracted me to footwork in general is like, I love music that is pushing at the boundaries of sound and your definition of what is noise in music and things like that. And so first and foremost, like, I think that's something that I always am interested in, is interesting sounds that you might not think are musical, but that transform into something really musical. That's something I'm interested in. But also, like, man, like, going back even to what you were talking about with Ghetto House and Juke, like the elegance of just not needing a million elements. You know what I mean? Just having a good bass and a good percussion, and maybe a good melody or something, and that's it. And just like how much groove and how much feeling and emotion can you generate with such little material? Right. I think I hear that in like punk rock too all the time, you know what I mean? Like, how much can you do with very little? And so I think that's what I really am working towards, you know what I mean? Is like I'm not trying to go and make the most complex, complicated, symphonic sounding, crazy music in the world. Maybe someday I'll get better at it and I can kind of grow to something like that. But I like kind of starting with the basics, which I think is also why I like wanted to learn how to dance before I started making tracks.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? And so I definitely think always, like Clint was saying, like, footwork music is for footwork dancers. It's not headphone. What I'm making is not trying to be headphone music. And that's no disrespect to people who do that, but I'm more in, like, I want to make a track that makes a dancer be like, oh yeah, let's go. You know what I mean? That's interesting to me.
Yeah,
so
man.
It's like a challenge, you know? Yeah.
That's cool, man. So yeah. I tell you what, I'm gonna add on to what you said. One of the beautiful things about footwork is almost, in a sense, like hip hop, in that it's very welcoming. Like hip hop, you can pull from so many different other genres of music and put it in hip hop. Like footwork's the same thing. Like if you want to sample some punk or whatever and put it on the footwork track, shoot, heck, if you want to sample doggone Cyndi Lauper from the early 80s, you can make a raw footwork track. You know, the sky's the limit. So it's like it's very, just like you said, the dancers work, the producers are, the music itself is very welcoming, and I'm digging that, man, because especially what I'm liking, it seems to be that there's more of a community being built with it. no matter what group you might be in. Like Creation, yeah, they're probably the biggest now, but all of them are in a community, you know, and there's respect.
Definitely.
And how Tracks, man, RP Boo, they were really pushing the respect, man. I love that. And man, I'm just glad more people are coming on board with it, man, because I feel like this has been underground for a long time. And I always felt like it was a dance style that was, and a music that was kind of ahead of its time. But it's like, this is 20 years ago, I felt like that.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see it actually kind of come to fruition. Like, it's the dance of the present, and almost at the same time, it's the dance of the future, because everyone hasn't jumped in on it yet, but it's building behind the scenes yet. They're seeing little snippets of it in front of their faces here or there, you know? So it's definitely cool to see the growth of it. You know, it's dope. Yeah, see the big courts come up and all that, man. It's raw, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely, I feel that way when I listen to that. It's like this music of the future too. When I'm watching battles sometimes, you know, my partner Miriam she's also a dancer, and she's also learning how to make tracks right now too. Yeah. And so, yeah, so we really been like studying up too. And like, we were talking recently about, like, we were watching some video that was like from 2010. And I think it was DJ Rashad was DJing for this battle.
Yeah.
And there's tracks that they're playing in this battle from 2009 or 2010 that are like just being released today, and just going people's minds today, thinking this is what the future of music is going to sound like. And the music was already even written 10 or 12, 13 years ago. I mean, like, these producers just had amazing foresight, and it just is at such a high level of excellence that it weeds out the fakers. I think you can't fake it. You can't just try to do it to be trendy. You got to like really study it if you really want to do it, you know? So for sure.
That's true, man. Yep. It's definitely true. So, so you're into punk. Any other styles of music you're into?
I mean, a lot. I love hip hop and rap music, and I by the time I got into Footwork, I had been listening also, to a lot of house music, a lot of techno.
Yeah.
I'd just been listening to jungle. I've always listened to a lot of experimental music, like in a broad sense, music that I think is always pushing avant-garde boundaries. So a lot, and I think being in LA in particular got me a lot more into, compared to living in Western New York, you know what I mean? Like, there's just a lot of hip hop that you can go see live, and it's around you, and it's really accessible, and dance music. And I learned a lot about it there. And so, I think I have pretty broad music tastes.
Hey, that makes a great musician and a great DJ, man. That broad taste.
I don't know how long you've been DJing for. That is my newest. Miriam and I, my partner, we've just started learning how to DJ like a few months ago.
Oh, really?
So,
that's cool.
we got a small little CDJ, so we've been practicing, but we're getting ready for when quarantine lifts. We'll be ready. You know what I mean? So yeah.
It's good, man. Y'all preparing. I'm on the same thing now. I'm like, I'm thinking like, man, when should I like, and I'll talk to my wife about it, because we've been talking about having a party. So it was like, we had a party for my oldest son for his turn of 17. Folks loved it. Like,
nice.
We had grown people there too. They want to come to a 17-year-old's party. So anyway, we're going to do it, and the quarantine hit and all that. I'm like, man, should we get ahead of the game and book a place, you know, or should we wait till everybody's vaccinated and all that? But, you know, man, we'll see, man. That's cool, man. CDJs. I've been DJing like off and on. I wouldn't consider myself professional, even though I had some gigs, but I'm more of a hobbyist. My thing mainly is dance and production. But
nice.
I work with Serato. You know,
Nice.
a lot of people work with Serato.
Yeah.
Started off with some Gemini CDJs that you couldn't spin them or nothing. They just played. You could cue it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, you didn't want to do too much because it'll freeze up, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
So, have you ever done any collaborations? On any
Well, I'm in. That's in the works right now. Hopefully, that's really what I'm looking as far as footwork collaborations. Yeah, I mean, in my other musical life, definitely I've been in bands and stuff a lot in my life, but footwork collaborations, Miriam and I work together, but then also like some of the other folks in the top 16 are people I know. People I've met over quarantine. So we've been talking and maybe going to be trading some tracks. So so I've been talking to Eric Ooh.
Okay,
from Juke MX, man, who is like one of my favorite producers right now,
yeah.
honestly. Like the whole Juke MX crew, I think, is like so underrated. There's so many awesome producers in that crew. And Eric has been just putting out tons of music and really, really awesome music. I've been listening to his shit like tons lately. So he's been like an inspiration to me. And then the other one is Gold Rat, the winner.
Yeah.
I also met Gold Rat. Yeah, I met Gold Rat.
Hold on. Are we to call him Gold Rat or are we to call him Tracks Rat? Which
I don't even know now. I gotta ask him. I haven't even asked him. But yeah, Gold Rat or Tracks Rat or whatever.
I don't want to make Tracks Man mad. We talk about his adopted son now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm just playing.
Well, Matt is Gold Rat is one of the guys who's, as far as me learning how to make tracks, definitely like the person I would have to shout out for sure would be Neuropunk, because he's someone who I met in LA and who taught me a ton and like really kind of shared some secrets with me, and that was like super helpful and really I think he's just like an amazing musician, an amazing organizer, and he's just done so much for footwork culture and jungle culture, and yeah, he's awesome. But lately Matt and Gold Rat, I mean, he's been helping me out a lot, and he's like, Gold Rat, I just got to say, is like someone who's been like really quietly in the culture for like a long time, and like knowing people from, at least from Portland, like he's been DJing for so long and he knows so much about music. Like he's got a real knowledge of dance music history that is like pretty awesome. Like I just sometimes listen to him and like he teaches me a lot about tracks and stuff like that. So yeah, Gold Rat he's been putting in the work for like a really long time. So he's been showing me some stuff on Ableton.
That's like his track was, said he ain't nothing to play with. That was I know that track was cold right there. That nothing to play with.
And you know what's funny is like he shared me, this is like my inside info on that track, just that he shared a demo of that track with me a couple months ago, and even the version we heard at the top 16, like the mix, the power, the drums in it, like I heard a difference. Like he's leveling up all the time, and like his music just keeps getting better every time I hear it. So yeah, hopefully he's gonna release something. Like he's somebody who's just been recording his tracks for a long time, and I think he's gonna hopefully release something soon. So that'll be awesome.
Okay, cool. Well, you know what, man? I hate to cut it. I want to get into some more questions. I want to do I'm gonna call it a footwork quick speed round questions. All right. All right. So let's see here. What are you into other than music? Hobbies.
Other than music and dance, man, I spent a lot of time doing music and dance. I'll say I've also been playing a lot of Nintendo 64. I'm a retro gamer.
Right on, man. Gamer. You know about that 64, man. You know about that Super Smash Brothers, man, and Mario Smash Brothers. That's right. All right, okay. All right, favorite 3 footworkers. You already touched on that. You said Paul Zeddy. Who the other 2?
I'll say Paul Zeddy. I think I always got to put King Charles in my top 3 because I just learned so much from him. I mean, if you're asking me for a third one, oh, this is so hard. I think maybe it's a tie. I'll say J-Ron and Crystal.
Right on. J-Ron is cold. You said who was else you said?
Crystal.
I had to look that up. I haven't seen.
Yeah, look her up. Crystal's one of the coldest ever. Yeah, Queen really? Crystal. Yeah, and J-Ron I think is like one of the most creative ever. He's like, his creativity always is like my favorite for sure.
Yes, indeed. Favorite decade of music?
That's tough for me, but since it's the lightning round, I'll just say actually maybe the 1970s.
Okay, I can get with that now. My favorite decade is kind of in between. I go, the decade is 75 to 85.
Yo, I respect that major. I like, if I had a long era, it would be like 65 to 95. That's like a period of time of music for me. I just like obsessed over for a long period of my life for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. Street tacos or Taco Bell? Which one?
I mean, since I lived in LA for so long, I gotta say street tacos. But that's actually not street tacos. But that's actually not a disrespect to Taco Bell. That's no diss at all to Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell. Yeah.
You know, Taco Bell has its place when you need it. You know, late at night.
Exactly. Sometimes you need nacho cheese.
Yeah.
You know, you need like the fake stuff. Yeah.
That's right. You know, the affordable stuff.
That too. Best broke food in the world is Taco Bell. That's true.
Yeah, that's the best broke food.
Yeah,
I kind of get with White Castles, man.
I've never lived in a place with a White Castle, but the few times I've had it, it is pretty choice. Yeah,
like that. Yeah, man. I love their fries, man. Okay, last quick one: spinach or greens?
Probably spinach, but maybe that's because I'm like a white dude. Maybe that's a white dude answer. But that's no disrespect to greens too, because I think if they're cooked, I gotta go with greens. Yeah.
All right.
If they're cooked right.
Cool, man. So tell me, like, how can people get in contact with
you? You can hit up. Oh my God, I'm so bad at knowing my handles. You can add me on Twitter. Honestly, people can add me on Twitter, which is what I check more, even though it's private. Just hit me up if you're a footworker. It's Ben, and then it's like 5 at Ben, and then like underscore, like 5 underscores C. And then I'm checking my own Instagram handle right now. Yeah, my own Instagram handle is Benjamin_Court. I do have a SoundCloud. I have not put up any of my tracks really, or very, very few of my tracks, because like I said, I'm very much in like a student learning phase still. And I'm gonna do releases eventually, but you can find, what is my SoundCloud? I'm looking that up right now too. I do have a SoundCloud. If you just search Ben Court on SoundCloud. Yeah, I've got a little bit of my other music up too. Some of my more guitar experimental kind of stuff up there, if people are curious. But I have a couple tracks, including the one from my top 16.
Hey Ben,
I put that.
If you will send it to me through IG or whatever, through the message, and I'll post it. I'll attach that information to the link of the video and all that.
Perfect. Thank you, man.
So, no problem, man. None at all. But man, you got any quick shout outs? I got about 2 or 3 minutes before Zoom shuts me off because I didn't pay for the legitimate subscription. So I only get 40.
No, that's good because it forces you to be efficient with your interviews. Then shout outs to everyone in Creation LA. Got to shout out Creation LA. Got to shout out Juke Bounce Werk and Juke MX for sure, man. Real crews that just taught me a lot. And Joey and Alexis, DJ Noir and Jay Drago and Juke Bounce Werk, who also were very welcoming in LA. Everybody in the culture. Thank you. DJ Cornerstone. Thank you. DJ Cornerstone.
Man. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I enjoyed our conversation. We're going to keep in touch, all right?
I was just gonna say that. Please keep in touch, and we should have another conversation sometime. Just kicking it and getting to know you, because I'd love to hear more about your story for sure. So
hey man, thank you, man. I'm gonna see if we get your homegirl Miriam. I think
definitely, yes, Miriam. Yeah, she'd love to meet you too, for sure.
Okay, right on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is DJ Ben Court. Give it up. Hey man,
peace, y'all.
Bless, man, and much success.
Thank you. You too.
All right, I'm gonna sign on out.
Man, that was a good time right there talking to DJ Brother Ben Court. We're gonna have to get him on some greens though. You on that spinach right now, but we're gonna get him on some greens next time though. But coming up in a couple of weeks, we'll be interviewing DJ Eric Ooh. That's with a U-H, Eric Ooh. Straight out of Mexico City, Mexico. So y'all stay tuned, man. We got more coming.